Hello students, hope you all are doing well. Let's continue with our chapter. Today we begin with a small activity given in your book. You can perform it very easily at your home. What you need is a metal spoon and a plastic spoon, a glass of water, ice cubes and a thermometer. What you will do is fill the glass of water with ice cold water. Dip the metal spoon and the plastic spoon in it. Leave them for at least 2 minutes. Remove the 2 spoons and observe the hotness and cold. You will see that the metal spoon is colder than the plastic spoon. So the hotness or coldness of an object depends on the material of the object. We can infer that all objects do not gain or lose the equal amount of heat at the same temperature. Coming to heat transfer, we know that heat is the form of energy that flows from a region of high temperature to lower. Greater is the temperature difference between the two objects, faster is the flow of heat energy. You can feel the heat from sun, or you can feel the hot air above the bowl of soup as you drink it. Now, how this heat is transferred? The methods by which heat is transferred from one region to another are called as modes of heat transfer. There are 3 modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection and radiation. Now, what is conduction, convection and radiation? Convection is the heat is transferred through liquids and gases by process called as convection. Heat is transferred through solids by the process of conduction, and radiation is the process that does not require any medium to transmit heat. Now let us try this activity. This is also a very easy activity and you can perform it at home to show what is conduction. For this we require a glass of hot water, plastic spoon and a stainless steel spoon. Dip both the spoons in hot water and leave them for 2 minutes. Now touch the hand of the spoon which is outside the water. What you will observe that stainless steel feels hot, but plastic spoon is not hot. Thus, what we can conclude is the stainless steel spoon conducts heat while the plastic spoon does not. The heat energy of water is transmitted to steel spoon. Heat moves faster from the hotter end to the cool end. As I've told you earlier, it flows from a high temperature to lower temperature. So the end of the spoon which was in hot water will gain the heat energy and will transmit it or will conduct it to the handle of the spoon. So we can define conduction as it is the process of heat transfer through a medium or a material without any movement of medium or material. We can see the particles are not moving in this type of transfer process. The materials that conduct heat are called as thermal conductors, and those which do not allow the heat to pass through them are called as thermal insulators. Now, how conduction takes place? This is the case of non-metals and this is the case of metals. As we all know, metals are very good conductor of heat. How? Metals contain free electrons. These free electrons gain heat energy and they start to vibrate. Thus, heat energy is the form of kinetic energy. Heat is the kinetic energy that is associated with the movement of the particles. When these free electrons start to vibrate, they strike the next and they flow in the intermolecular spaces between, and thus they transfer heat very quickly. Whereas in case of non-metals, the portion which is heated, the particles in this portion, they try to pull, they vibrate and try to pull the next particle. Thus the conduction is very slow. Here is the reason given why metals are very good conductors and non-metals are not while non-metals are not good conductors of heat. So you can read it from here. I have explained it in the explanation there. Gold is having highest thermal conductivity in the known metals and lead is having the least thermal conductivity. Water in the non-metals, these are some common insulators where water is having highest thermal conductivity and air is having lowest thermal conductivity. Now it's just things in the pink box. It is given 2 thin blankets are warmer than 1 thick blanket. Why? This is because the air between the 2 blankets entrap the heat from which is radiated from our body and does not allow it to cross the blanket layer. Thus we feel warmer when we have 2 thin blankets than having a 1 thick blanket. Now non-metals are poor conductor of heat. A poor conductor of heat is also called as a thermal insulator. Vacuum or empty space is the perfect insulator because matter is needed to conduct the heat and no heat at all moves through a vacuum by conduction. What are the common uses of conductors? Electric iron, it is having an ironing surface which is made up of metal so that it transfer heat to the cloth which is to be ironed, and the handle is made up of plastic which does not allow the heat to pass to our hand. Ice box, ice keeps the food and drinks cold for a longer time. It is having air in between and it is made up of plastic, thus an insulator. Metal pan, the cooking portion is made up of metal and the handle is made up of non-metals. Animals have a thick coating of fat under their skin which acts as insulator. The materials used to make oven gloves contain trapped air. Our hands do not get hot because heat is not conducted easily through the trapped air. In general, liquids are poor conductor of heat, but mercury is the only liquid that can conduct heat well, and so it is used in thermometers. The fur of polar bears, rabbits and some other animals trap air and help to keep the animals warm. Wool blankets trap air and thus do not conduct heat away from our body, thus we feel warm. That's all for today. In between questions and book pages covered will be uploaded on school website. Thank you.